Okay, let's get started. Welcome to day 2. Today we actually have 3 different rooms. So we have full burn, which is actually upstairs, and this room is going to be dedicated for the devs. We have another room called the boredom room, and here we're mostly going to have formal verification topics, except possibly for a fun last-minute presentation on Bitcoin post-quantum signatures from Mike pending confirmation. And in this room, the Frankenpun room, we're basically going to be alternating theory implementation. So I guess what I'd like to do is invite the various technical team leads to say a few words about what they're hoping to achieve today, some of the open problems, talk about the agenda. And I guess we could start with the dev team, for example, DevNet team.
Today is going to be a pretty easy day in terms of scheduling, but probably not easy in terms of the work. So we'll start off with talking about the bindings between the existing research libraries into different implementations, with having like C++ and some Rust, and then there's also Z. And then we'll follow up at 11 a.m. with metrics. This is basically going to be like open discussions regarding what metrics are we going to measure, and also following the networking session we had yesterday. Looks like we also want to embed all the metrics, like performance measurements in terms of networking as well, which requires a lower level of metrics and measurements. And then basically the afternoon is going to be breakout sessions, so we are trying to achieve DevNet 0 interop today. Probably a bit quirky, but at least the 3 clients that we have here should be able to interop with each other and finalize on what sort of like infrastructure. We're not so sure yet, but we're trying to get it to talk to each other and finalize. And I think that's basically the day. So hopefully finishing this DevNet 0 today, so that tomorrow is going to be about DevNet 1 and talking about post-quantum signatures, and also how much of the networking stuff that we can actually networking improvements that we want to try out in DevNet 1 and onwards.
Perfect. One of the goals of the binding session, from my perspective, is to try and get the implementers of the reference implementation, so Thomas and Emil, to talk to the devs. So a bit of a social forcing function here. Any questions for O? Any questions about this session? And again, feel free to modify the agenda. It's yours. If you want to swap out metrics for peer-to-peer networking, that's fine. That's fine. Next up, I guess we could do formal verification with Alex.
Yes, so we have a pretty packed day with every session back to back. So we'll start with encoding with Badri, who's been looking at the post-quantum signatures, which is obviously a nice separate work stream from ArcLib and the rest of things. I believe he's also been doing a lot of work with an agent on this, which is quite exciting in terms of workflow. So we'll get to see a bit what that's about, and it's pretty exciting to be doing a full verification of this at the same time as people are starting to implement it for the first time as well. Then we'll have the session on end-to-end full verification with Julian. So this session will mostly be about looking at how to expand the scope of the current full verification efforts to the broader stack, so that we're able to cover the entire trust base that would be used for ZKVMs or DL1, for example. And so that should be pretty interesting and involved, I think, hopefully for maybe devs or whoever is not just a cryptographer, which has been the main focus of a lot of the full verification efforts so far. And then after that, we'll have ArcLib, which should be quite exciting, because this is a library of snarks in Lean. And so for this one, I think, mainly hoping to get a lot of cryptographers in the room and to get some feedback on what we're doing, and hopefully to interest some of them into what we're doing, and potentially find new contributors as well. So I think we'll primarily go over the interactive oracle reduction framework that Conk has been developing, and we should have a spec of Fry in Lean to show off, which should be exciting as well.
Alex, would you say that ArcLib is the primary library that's looking at the mathematical foundations?
It's the only one.
The only one, okay. And it's part of the Ethereum Foundation organization, is that right?
Yes, I guess.
Okay.
Yes, I'm the only EF contributor to it, but I guess it's probably funded by the EF.
And how many contributors does it have today?
10 to 15, I
10
think
to
total.
15,
We
okay.
have about probably 6 to 8, I would say, core contributors, and we've had about 15 total, including the
Okay. Got it. And how many contributors are you hoping to have tonight?
more. There's never, at this point, there's never enough.
Okay, because with Lean we can have like this massively collaborative
Yep.
work. Okay,
Yes, if you send PRs and you have proofs, I will merge them because Lean will tell me the proofs are correct.
Okay,
So it's very
excellent.
easy.
Perfect. Very exciting. Any questions for Alex? No? Okay. So next up, we have, I guess, Thomas on the implementation.
Yes, so first I think that we will have a first binding session that is not related to the implementation, but I hope that we will fix the point about what needs to be done with the various clients, how we can link the work that we have done with all of the primitives and all of the VM stuff with the work that is done by the client team. This will be a very important session, especially we discussed that yesterday with Guillaume, how to play with the various languages, with Zig, with Rust, and maybe with others. And then we have like two other sessions about leanVM and memory argument, I think. So I think that during the first session, we will more talk maybe about the architecture of the VM. We talked about this during the leanVM day a lot, but now here we have much more experts in the room and much more people. So maybe after the quick introduction of yesterday by Emil, it could be good to have like a session talking about like the choice of the architecture, why we have this choice or this choice, and have a debate with other people in the room that are familiar with the KVM, and maybe a more specific topic at the end of the day about memory argument stuff. What type of memory are we using in the VM? Maybe it will be like a good moment to talk more about like the new lookup star, because a lot of people are not that familiar with this, and yeah, why we did all of those choices, and yeah, with the experience of Aki also, it will be really valuable to have like a second point of view. That is basically it for the day.
Yeah, so I think, as you said, Emil will be presenting lookup star, which is very new and seemingly very powerful. And Aki has this very, I guess, exotic memory model that has been implemented in leanVM. That should be a very interesting presentation. I'm also hoping Ulrich can join the memory argument, because he came up with lookup in the first place. And I think from our perspective, the memory argument is very important because we're spending a lot of prover time on it. So any optimization will help, and everyone is using memory argument, so it will also lift all boats if we can find optimizations. Okay, great. Thank you, Thomas. Next up, we have Benedict.
Okay, so we have two theory sessions today. The first is led by Albert about the toy problem. So just a reminder, the toy problem is some sort of very strong conjecture that is used to analyze concrete soundness levels for snarks and starks. And Albert has some exciting new results, which I'm looking forward to hear about. They are also linked, the overleaf of them is also linked in the HackMD, if you want to look at it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that session to learn about these results and then discuss these results. And the second session is about mutual correlated agreements. So we continue with conjectures. This is sort of a weaker form of Giacomo yesterday said orthogonal mapping. Another form of conjecture that gives you complete security levels for snarks and starks, and Elon and Ulrich will lead that session, and we sort of continue the discussions from yesterday from the proximity price, maybe on a more technical level, whereas yesterday we talked a lot about logistics and that stuff. And yeah.
Yes, my understanding is that the toy problem conjecture is false. Albert will present about that. And for the mutual operator agreement, Elon and Ulrich, I believe, will also be doing short presentations. Yeah, and I think my understanding of maybe what Ulrich did is that he was able to prove the soundness of without using a mutual operator agreement. We'll see, I guess, if that's correct. Great. Any questions for Benedict? Okay, great. So today we don't have any organized group dinner. You can just break out in smaller groups, have dinner wherever you want. I believe that a bunch of you have had late night conversations. You're welcome to do that in a cafe or in the college or around Cambridge. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll be meeting again at 5 o'clock. And
for conversations, is there a place where we can chill and work, and like where should that happen?
yes, so we have access to the lounge, which is the place where we had lunch yesterday. So there's like comfy kind of area there to just chat. Okay, great. So we have 7 minutes of break time, and then we'll be starting the session.